Hi my beautiful stars, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Molly and welcome to my little slice of pie here on the internet. I'm so glad that you decided to click on today's video. I did MolliWeen on my channel in September and October, which was a new series for the Halloween and fall months because that's like my favorite time of the year. And I thought, you know, I did Spooky Stories, and Spooky Stories is a series on my channel if you're new here where I share my own paranormal experiences I've had in my life and just talk about it, tell you the story, kind of like a story time. And I think these are really fascinating to talk about no matter if you are a believer in the paranormal or not. I think it's really cool that there have been signs of life after we've passed away, and I think it's just a really interesting world. I did the 11 most haunted places in Minnesota, and I know that a lot of you liked that video, so I thought let's make it a series. So once or twice a month I will be doing Spooky Stories Sunday, which is Wednesday and Sunday I upload, so Sundays will be sometimes some spooky stories. I thought, why don't I do the states, the most haunted places in blank state, and I did Minnesota because that's where I live, and then I thought I would kick off this series with Wisconsin because that's where I went to college. Without further ado, let's get into this spooky goodness. The 18 most haunted places in Wisconsin, and this is from the news station TMJ4 in Milwaukee, so I'll leave their article down below. All credit goes to them for these stories. Starting off with number 1. The Summerwind Mansion. It was a fishing lodge turned home by former U.S. Secretary of Commerce Robert Lamont in 1916. After firing 2 shots at a supposed intruder, Lamont discovered that there was no one there. He and his family left that night. The next family moved in the mansion in the 1970s, only to have the husband have a nervous breakdown and the wife attempt suicide. The mansion itself is mostly ruined after a fire in 1988, but the paranormal activity there still continues. That sounds a little scary. Number 2. Nelson's Hall and Bitters Club. It's been around for decades and is full of loyal patrons, including founder Tom Nelson. Nelson died in the apartment above the building, and guests have heard footsteps above them, knowing that no one is up there. Reports also say that he will appear in front of unsuspecting women, using the restroom and changing the radio station so he can still enjoy his favorite music. Number 3. Elk Lake Dam. While the Elk Lake Dam may not be cursed itself, the surrounding area is. In 1974, the body of Mary, I'm gonna butcher her last name, I think it's Schlace, was discovered at the dam. It was reported that Schlace was hitchhiking from Minneapolis to Chicago before her killer picked her up and dumped her body at Elm Lake. The case has still not been solved. There have been many strange occurrences there according to multiple reports. One such includes 2 fishermen who were on the dam. One said, "There's a glowing white woman behind us." "I know," the other man replied, "but I'm not turning around." So if you do have any leads about this case, since it is a cold case, I would definitely contact the police about this. I will try and find their number if you do have any tips. Maybe you happen to know who this person is, so I'll leave that down below as well. Next up is the Riverside Cemetery in Appleton. I have some friends that live in Appleton. Spooky. The Riverside Cemetery in Appleton has one inhabitant that has been known to haunt visitors. Kate Blood, a very appropriate name, was allegedly a witch, child killer, adulteress, and was murdered by her husband. Visitors claim to see a hooded figure running around and vanishing into thin air, while others say that they have seen blood ooze from her tombstone. Ooh, that's creepy. It's like something you'd see out of a movie. Next up is the Bromder Mansion. It did not experience any disturbances until the 1990s. George Bromder's sister was apparently so fond of the place that she never left. Guests have reported strange activities in her former room, now the Gold Suite, and one American Indian medicine man claims that the spirits to be benevolent but very talkative. That's cool. Next is the Bloody Bridge. Oh wait, what? Moving on to the Bloody Bride Bridge. Try saying that 10 times fast. You probably can. It's just me. Or actually the High 66 Bridge in Stevens Point. I also know people in Stevens Point. Let me know if this is true, you guys. Might have one of the scariest occurrences. According to legend, a bride was driving to her wedding when she crashed and died. She can now be seen on the bridge in other cars, and in some extreme cases, seen in the back of your own car if you look in the rearview mirror. To make matters worse, according to police records, there has never been a bride who died on the bridge. Next is the Plainfield Cemetery. It's not only the site where serial killer Ed Gein is buried, but it is also the place where he would dig up women who reminded him of his mother. Moving on to the Siren Bridge in Siren, Wisconsin. It's home to a tragic tale. One Halloween, a family was driving on County Highway B when the father lost control and the car drove into the swamp below. The family was trapped and they died in the car. Motorists now say that they can hear a little girl crying through their radios, "Mommy, help me. I can't get out." That's really sad. The Pfister Hotel was recently named the creepiest place in Wisconsin by the Travel Channel, and deservingly so. The hotel has had many reports of hauntings, mostly by the founder, Charles Pfister. So they didn't put any other stories on there, but I guess that leaves the room for imagination. St. Joseph's Hospital in Marshfield. It's a great place to go if you need medical assistance, but there's one resident who will make your stay even worse. In the west wing of the hospital, it is said that there is a man in a black robe who has been seen by staff and patients alike wandering the halls and coming in and out of patients' rooms. Nobody has managed to determine who he is or why he is haunting the hospital. I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like death because he has the black robe and stuff. Never know. Callum Road, or Witch Road as it is more commonly known in Ripon, has a lot of lore surrounding it. The trees that line the road cast shadows that will keep you on edge the entire trip. It is also said that there has been flashes of light in the abandoned building supposedly housed by the witch. The Clark County Insane Asylum. It was probably more haunted during its time of operation, rather than it since has closed. Today, visitors report claims of voices and seeing apparitions. Back in the day, the residents were tormented and even murdered by the staff. Wow, what? Electroshock therapy, ice water submersion, and even bloodletting was used. That is really terrible. That made me really sad. That just made me think. I did a lot of research on some insane asylums actually by my house, and they were just so mean to the people that inhabited that place. Like, I don't understand why you could do that to another human being. It's crazy. The Marble Caves Hotel is more commonly known as Hotel Hell. After a fire in 1985, the hotel closed down. Since then, however, there have been reports of apparitions, floating objects, strange lights. And scariest of all, people claim that witches use the abandoned building as a gateway to hell, which would make the name more appropriate. Now we're on to a cemetery. The Dartford Cemetery in Green Lake is home to many creepy sightings. One in particular is a mausoleum on the south side of the cemetery where a little boy is buried. It is said if you sit on it or even around it, you will be pushed off by a force said to be the little boy. Soldiers from the Civil War have also been seen marching around the grounds. Boy Scout Lane and Stevens Point. This is home to one of the mysterious legends on this list. The name of the road was given in honor of a Boy Scout troop that had died there. How they died, however, remains a mystery. Some say they got lost in the forest and died there. Some say they camped out on the road and were killed by their bus driver. Probably creepiest of all is a legend that one scout burned them all alive with kerosene lantern. Wow, that is dark. The Hotel What? I can usually pronounce these and I just can't today. Okay, I'll just put it on the screen. I'm so sorry. I don't want to butcher this name. The hotel in Ashland may have changed ownership over to the Best Western brand, but it still has a history of being creepy to the guests and staff. There have been strange noises and disembodied voices, specifically in the attic and room 314. Why do I want to go there now? Next on this list is the Bosco Bell Hotel, hosted by John F. and Jackie Kennedy back in the day. But that didn't stop the spirits from coming over. Former owner Adam Bobel is reportedly still living there even after his death, and a young girl named Snowflake, who was abandoned in the snow as an infant. Reportedly loves the hotel too much to leave. The hotel is also reported to be the birthplace of the Gideon Bible. Shaker's Cigar Bar. It's one of the most creepiest places in Wisconsin and was even featured on Netflix documentary show Dark Tourist. Patrons and employees have reported seeing a little girl in the women's room and various ghosts in the basement. So that is all the 18 places. But what is the most scariest one that you heard on this list? I would love to know. I would have to say that last one, or I think the one with like the Boy Scout troop, because it's just so mysterious. All of them are pretty creepy. Let me know if you've ever visited any of these places, or if you're from these places, if you've heard of them. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Shine bright.